Prior to the 1600s, many believed the Earth to be the center of the solar system. The sun, the moon, and the other planets move across the sky, and geocentrism, as it was called, was how the world was experienced. It's how we saw the world. Even today, we still say the sun sets or the sun rises. In Christian theology, man is considered very important as he carries the image of God. The Earth being central in God's universe fit very well with those ideas, and they merged. Man, being God's delegate, carrying his image, is of course settled physically in the middle of the universe, while the heavenly bodies are subjugated to periphery roles, crossing or circling the Earth. So when the Copernican model, placing the sun at the center, challenged geocentrism, it was feared as a challenge to the nature and role of man. If man was not physically centered in the universe, then how did that affect his role as the image of God? But in time, these ideas separated, and geocentrism was superseded by heliocentrism, and is no longer considered an implication of the primacy of man. Evolution is a claim that people assume has a similar implication. Many feel that if evolution is true, then man's position as the image of God again is at risk. A naturalist is one who believes the cosmos does not include anything that is immaterial or intentional, like God or spirits or souls. And we often think that evolution leads to naturalism, namely that God is unnecessary as evolution explains everything. However, I wonder if that's true. I wonder if evolution has those implications. What if we give the naturalist all the pieces he asks for and sees if he can put them together in a coherent way? Philosopher Alvin Plantinga argues that he can't. He argues that holding both evolution and naturalism is self-defeating. You can have one or the other, but not both. So if evolution is the only input, then we have no reason to trust in our ability to reason and no way to account for any interest we have in truth content of a claim, of any claim. Reason is only a side effect of evolution, and evolution selects for survival, not for truth. Why would we care or know about what is true beyond what helps us survive? For example, does a porcupine shoot its quills? This belief would aid you in survival and could have. And if evolution could have rewarded those who avoid porcupines in the past. However, there's a secondary question that we have. Is it true? Reason, logic, and the desire for truth can only exist as side effects of what helps us survive and could not be trusted to be reliable in and of themselves or even relevant. Second, we have another problem, the problem of volition and morality. If evolution is the only piece of the puzzle, then we are only the result of chemical reactions and processes. There are no choices and no moral value to choices. When a crime is committed, we punish the guilty. This is a judgment on the choices made by others. What are we measuring these choices against? When things occur in nature, we consider them natural. A male shark, for example, forcibly copulates with a female shark, but we do not say that a shark rapes her. Primates kill competing males and their offspring, but we don't say they murder. Humans, on the other hand, can rape and can murder. These actions may be natural in the sense that they occur in nature, but they are also considered immoral. That means that what's moral is not just a reflection of what occurs in nature. If evolution were the only input, then we would have no reason to evaluate actions for their moral content. So things cannot really be explained without God. Reason and morality are just a couple of examples. How would evolution select for truth content instead of just survival? How would naturalism explain that our free will is not simply the sum of chemical processes that are leading to nowhere? How do we account for the idea of objective morality when God alone is the only sufficient grounding for objective morality? You might disagree with me. You might think that natural selection can account for our ability to reason and evaluate both truth and moral value. I'm not sure how, but if you do, I have a reminder for you this Easter. I would remind you that in that view, where evolution selects for truth, evolution brought the majority of humanity to theism, and then to monotheism, and then finally to Christian monotheism. To the naturalist, it is evolution that brought us to the truth that there's no greater love than one who sacrifices himself for others, and that the God of self-sacrifice gave himself for the sins of men. In conclusion, as a naturalist, you have to argue that the mind that conceives of Christian theism is an adaptation that aids in survival, and you have no other tools to dispute its claims, leaving you in conflict with naturalism itself. It's sometimes necessary to hold things in tension, but I would not recommend holding them in conflict. This is one reason that you can have evolution or naturalism, but you can't have both. Thank you.